Good afternoon, Empire Builders. This is Mark Magerman for this week's Franchise Empire weekly newsletter. Welcome to everybody who's on this call now or later on when you play it back. Glad to have you. Again, my name is Mark Magerman. Usually I'm joined by Tarek Johnson on this call. Tarek is off today, so unfortunately, you're stuck with just me, but I think that'll be fine. We've got some great information for you. As I said, this is this week's Franchise Empire newsletter that we bring you every week. We'd love you to join. So if you look at the link on the bottom of your screen, you'll see exactly how you can join and be part of our calls on a weekly basis. We would love to have you. So as we do each week, we're going to go over our little agenda for you so you know what to expect. So today we have an amazing franchise that has median sales of almost $5 million, in which the top franchisee did over $33 million. That's not a misprint. That's just staggering numbers. High cash flow. We'll also be looking at a high cash flow resale with $914,000 in annual revenue, which, believe it or not, makes that an underperforming resale. If you're ready to quit your job, as so many of our candidates are contemplating when they come to us, you want to check this out. And also an Increase Your Income Impact and Change the World podcast that Tarek did with Bedros Keuilian a while back. We're going to give you an opportunity to play that back. Just amazing information and a wealth of knowledge for anybody out there looking into getting into franchising. So again, if you have questions or comments, I'm looking at one right now. Oh, so you want Maximilian from somewhere wants to know what we're going to learn today. Just franchise opportunities and more general info that every franchisor can learn from. Mostly this is for franchisees, not for franchisors. But as we just talked through the agenda, I hope there's something on here for you, Maximilian, that you find beneficial today. And thanks for the question. So for those of you who are struggling to find the right franchise, or maybe you've worked with a broker or a consultant but haven't had success, at Franchise Empire, we're now offering complimentary access to our proprietary Zero to Profitable franchise system to help you get access to the most proven franchises, reduce your risk so that you can buy a money-making franchise with confidence and protect your assets. This is exclusively available for franchise buyers that want to work with our team in a brokerage capacity to find, vet, and launch a money-making franchise. Prior to this amazing offer, there was a $2,800 annual charge to access this amazing data. So getting it for free at this point is an amazing win for you folks. And we have amazing statistics, which I can share with anybody who wants to get on my calendar, on the likelihood of folks investing in franchises that meet their criteria after they've taken our program versus those who haven't. So this is an amazing offer that Tarek's made available to you folks, and I really hope you take us up on it. And I also hope I get to see a lot of you guys on our calendar to talk about franchise opportunities. And again, you can schedule a free consultation with me or any of our other teammates at that website below. So thank you for that little, give me a little chance to make that offer to you folks. So the resale opportunity we're talking about today, as you know, we do this each week, is CertaPro Painters. Painting is an amazing franchise opportunity for almost everybody because for the most part, it's a very relatively low cost business with high margins because the startup costs are very, very mild. They also make very good resales. CertaPro Painters is probably the most established franchise for painters, for painting franchisees in the entire country. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if Tarek was here, he'd be able to correct me. I don't even believe they have any new territories available. The only way you can get into the CertaPro family is through resale opportunities. So again, the resales possess many benefits for aspiring business owners: established cash flow, experienced employees, systems in place, and brand awareness, to name a few. So again, CertaPro was established in 1992. They have nearly 500 franchise units throughout the United States and Canada. If that number doesn't mean anything to you, it should. 500 anythings is robust. And I can't think off the top of my head, again, eliminating quick serve restaurants, which is another category, of these service type brands that have that many units. So this is an amazing success story with hundreds and hundreds of just really satisfied franchisees. So again, if you're thinking about getting into franchising, if you're thinking about looking into resale opportunities, this is a perfect one to look at. And again, as I said, CertaPro is the largest residential and commercial painting franchise in North America, and Entrepreneur Magazine ranks them #1 overall in the home services industry. Not much room to grow up when you're #1. This particular opportunity is based in Charlotte, South Carolina. It was started in 2003, so it's been around for quite a while. They're asking $550,000 as an asking price. The rolling 12 months revenue of $914,000. What does rolling 12 months revenue means? Instead of looking at January through December of a calendar year, rolling 12 months would be the 12 months from this month forward over the last year. So the last 12 months of business is what the rolling 12 months is. And again, for any resale opportunity, cash flow, financial statements, everything you would need to make an educated decision on this would be available upon request from the selling franchisee. A couple points I'd like to make on this, and I may even add one of my own. No experience needed in painting or home improvement. This opportunity is about leading a team. You'll get support every step of the way with field and online training, technology resources, and turnkey marketing campaigns. Again, to reemphasize this, they do not need you to be a painter, nor do they want the franchise owners on ladders painting people's homes. They want you building, growing, and residing over a very large scale opportunity. CertaPro is one of the strongest home service franchises in the industry. Strong hands-on training, which lasts for 5 weeks, and support program for the franchisees, leading to a 90% or more retention rate amongst their network over the past 3 years. It's almost like once you become a CertaPro franchisee, you become one forever. And that's why when these resales come available, they're very, very popular. I'll talk about that in a minute as well. The CertaPro franchise system boasts a very strong Item 19. For those of you who don't know what that is, Item 19 comes from the franchise disclosure document. It is one of 23 items, and it's the only place a franchise is legally allowed to disclose financial performance of their network. So the average for all franchisees in the system, that the key is that operated for the full 12 months of 2024, 2023, the 2024 book isn't out yet, was over $2 million. And again, it says the 2024 franchise disclosure document, which came out early in 2024 and was capturing sales system-wide for 2023. But $2 million as the average is one of the highest revenue numbers I've seen in any service brand for an average with that many franchisees. You just can't lie about the numbers. And the #1 goal of CertaPro painters is to help their franchisees grow big and profitable businesses. One little asterisk, and I say this each time when we talk about resales, especially with one like CertaPro, they're so popular. And I'm going to tell a little tangent here and try to take up too much time, but I think it's an important note on resales. I actually had a candidate last week, and I presented a resale opportunity for them in their area of Texas. And it was a very interesting resale. And it was on a Monday that I spoke to the candidate, and it was on a Tuesday that I got information back on the resale. The resale was posted on Monday. So each Monday we get a new update from our franchisors about what resales are available. And on Monday it was available. And on Tuesday, by the time I got the franchise development representative to contact me on this particular resale for our candidate, there were 22 other potential candidates interested in that one resale in 24 hours. My point is, when these really interesting resales become available, they're very popular. They go very, very quickly. And my advice to all my candidates is please speak to your lender and make sure you have something that can show the seller that you're financially qualified to make this purchase. It's still going to be very competitive, but if you don't have that information, I just feel that you're just going to be kicking tires and going to end up not really getting a chance to put your best foot forward on that opportunity. That's just my opinion on resales. That will help you guys out. So you also can see that if you look at our, you can click on the bottom here and you can look at the availability of other resale opportunities that you may be interested in. It'll take you to one of our teammates and we'll be happy to get any information we can on any of the resale opportunities that may be available, including this really exciting resale for Certa Pro. So I don't see any questions coming in, so we'll keep going down a little bit more to the next portion of our newsletter. And we like to talk about success stories, not necessarily success stories with Franchise Empire, although we do take pride in being able to help our candidates find the perfect franchise for their lifestyle. But really, we want to pat on the back our candidates who actually do all the work, right? We're helpful in helping them find franchises, but when it comes to the due diligence, all the work, all the validation calls, all the steps that are taken to get these people up to the point where they can become franchisees, and not for nothing, but they're also investing a lot of their hard-earned money. We don't spend any money buying franchises any longer. So it's nice when we have these success stories. So our candidate, Jerry, and the reason we chose this one is this story can resonate with a lot of our candidates that we speak to on a regular basis. Jerry had been in operations, corporate America, for 25 years. He started in the mailroom and he worked his way up the ladder. He knew that he could work hard, and he realized that if it was his own business, he would be much happier than if he was working for somebody else. So he was ready to quit his job once he found the right fit. A little asterisk here. Most franchisors are looking for franchisees who are willing to make that full-time commitment to the brand. So it's a little slippery of a slope sometimes when you're deciding whether to quit your job or not. In this case, he was ready to go once he found that right opportunity. He wanted something. He worked with our brokerage team to identify what was important to him about his franchise search. In Jerry's case, he didn't want to lease. He didn't want to do a build out. He didn't want to have to deal with contractors and the costs of build outs and the costs of leases and the time it takes to get that done. He wasn't interested in that. He let us know that. He wanted to have blue collar employees that allowed him to build a team. He also wanted a franchise that had room to grow. We use the term scalability, but it's the same thing. He ended up finding a very proven service franchise business, ended up purchasing 5 territories. He said he was impressed with their marketing and the advertising support that he knew he would get from them, and he knew he would be very successful in that niche. So our hats off to Jerry for making an amazing decision for him and his family. And the only comment I'll make on that would be he was able to purchase 5 territories. If any of you end up chatting with us here at Franchise Empire about your own franchise goals, we always believe, if you can, to purchase as many territories as you possibly can, because that's what allowed you to grow and scale your business into multi-million-dollar operations. So Jerry heeded the guidance that Franchise Empire provided. We did an introduction to him to a couple of brands. He found this one, and now he is beginning to change his life through franchising. So we couldn't be happier. And congratulations, Jerry. There's my round of applause for Jerry and the amazing job that he and his family did on this opportunity. So again, if you're interested in speaking to anybody at Franchise Empire about your own goals, you can just look and click on any of the links that you see below. It will allow you to get to our team, and we'd be happy to speak to you guys about your goals as well as we did for Jerry. Segueing over to our franchise of the week. This is one of our funnest parts of the newsletter because we have so many excellent franchisors that we work with. It's really hard to choose. In this week, we chose Citywide Facility Solutions. They're a business-to-business model, and they do everything regarding cleaning and facility maintenance that you could possibly think of. And their menu of services is so robust, and you'll see how that makes sense when you see some of the amazingly high revenue numbers that some of these franchisees do. This is what you call a very mature franchise versus an emerging franchise. Started in 1961 in Kansas City, Missouri, when I don't even think they were franchising back in 19. I don't think there's such thing as franchising back in 1961. But they started franchising and selling them in 2001, which also means that they spent 40 years perfecting the model. I always tell candidates that the longer a company goes from startup to franchising is usually a barometer of how solid the model is and how much they worked hard to get it perfected. So I don't think I've ever seen one that had 40 years of a gap. There's no parent company or predecessors. There are 3 company-owned locations that have been probably owned for many, many years. I do not have that. 91 franchise units currently. The franchise fee is $70,000. And again, if you don't know, a franchise fee is part of the overall startup investment range that will be due the day you sign the franchise agreement. And skipping ahead a little bit, if you see the total investment range for this business between 173.6 and 372, the franchise fee of 70,000 comes out of that. So it's all part of that investment range. Royalty is 5%, which actually is a little bit lower than most competitors, with a national marketing fee of 1%. When you get to be as large as this brand is, they have national marketing, and each franchisee pays their fair share for that. And you're signing a 10-year franchise agreement, which is also very, very standard. And that's based on the FDD that came out last May. There's a new FDD that will be coming out this May, which will update the numbers. And obviously you get access to the new one as soon as it comes out. A little bit of description. What the heck is Citywide? So they offer commercial janitorial services, carpet cleaning, window washing, and maintenance services for commercial and retail buildings. This is not a residential business. This is not, so a lot of people we speak to prefer business to business versus business to consumer. This would be in your sweet spot. This is completely business to business. As the owner of the franchise, you'll start your day by reviewing the previous day's performance of your team and preparing for your morning meetings with your staff. As you lead your team, you'll be responsible for managing inventory, analyzing data, and problem solving to ensure that each client's facilities are running smoothly. Said another way, your team is going to be executing the work at your client's businesses. You will be managing your team. Imagine yourself as the CEO of your own business, and you'll have people reporting into you that are ultimately responsible for the day-to-day success of your customers. And you'll be guiding them along the way as well, which is why you don't have to have any experience in the industry, nor do you have to have a passion for cleaning, because that's going to be done by your team. Let's take a little sneak peek at the financial information. Again, this came from the FDD last year, which again, it's item 19. It's the only area where franchisors can disclose franchise information. That said, if I could put a little asterisk, as you, in any case of due diligence with any franchise brand, one of the major steps along the due diligence route is call validation with other franchisees. That helps you get a lot more knowledge, but it's called call validation because really the goal there is to validate what you've learned in the steps leading up to that opportunity. But again, just take a look at some of these numbers, and these are just staggering. I'm not going to go through each and every single point, but you certainly will have access to the FDD. But if you look at this, these are average gross sales for 2022 and 2023. Franchisees have to be operating for the full 12 months to be listed on the FDD. But just look at what the high sales in the chain do. 42 million and then 33 million. I'll be honest with you, I don't really believe every franchisee is going to get to that level because this is the highest performing franchisee. But I can't think of any, honest to goodness, any other franchises that have gross sales that high. My guess is that people have been around for a while, and my other guess is that they've done an amazing job building a team of salespeople and support people to get to that number. And it shows you what the lows are and what the medians are and what the averages are. So even on an average basis, with almost 100 franchises, they're averaging 8 million and then 7.8 million. Real numbers that you certainly can be proud of if you're able to run those kinds of businesses. As I scroll a little bit further down, you see there's all sorts of different numbers. I'm not really going to spend much time on it, A, because it's hard for me to read, and B, because they're just numbers. The real numbers we just looked at were what I wanted to get you interested in. And part of the due diligence is analyzing these FDDs when they become available to you. So you can work with anybody here at Franchise Empire that you're speaking with. You can work with your CPA. And understanding these numbers are helpful in your due diligence process. And remember, these numbers do not guarantee anybody's success. It really just points out if you follow the playbook and you do things according to how they recommend and coach you, these are all very, very realistic numbers. But just take a look at the 2023 numbers and you can see why Citywide is a very successful brand. I think we can scroll a little further down to the benefits, please. There we go. Perfect. So again, notwithstanding the numbers, which are important, but here's some of the things we love about Citywide. 60 years in the industry, of which the first, 20 or 25 weren't even franchises. So they perfected the model. It gives franchisees the confidence to invest in a brand that has a proven track record and longstanding history. Could not agree more. Very strong support system. You'll have a strong support system, including training, marketing, ongoing support, coaching, and of course, a peer network of other successful franchisees, which is invaluable to, especially to new startup franchise owners. Multiple revenue streams. They have more than 20 different services to open doors and generate income. Citywide is the ultimate flywheel business. So again, when you see these high revenue numbers, it has to be a byproduct of having many, many services, which again reinforces the role of the franchise owner in building a sales team that can get out there and talk to all these potential business owners. It's the only way you're going to get to those $1 million numbers. National accounts. This is like free money. What do I mean? Most markets in the country will already have existing national accounts that are being run by the corporate office if there are no franchises in the market. Just a quick education, national accounts would be accounts that can buy your services on a national basis versus a regional or just a local level. And most of the good franchisors, in this case Citywide, has a national account team at the franchisor constantly calling and soliciting national account business. When they get a chance to get this national account business, if the business happens to be in your territory as an owner, you get that business dropped on your lap, you need to execute it. So the fact that they're out there generating this national accounts is a platform for franchise owners to start understanding and benefiting from additional revenue that comes from those national accounts. 5, and this isn't going in any necessary order, but extremely high gross sales. The majority of franchisees are lucky to get over $1 million in gross sales, but not Citywide, as the average rate is around $8 million. Again, it's so true. Most of the service-related brands that we work with, if you can get to $1 million after year 1 or $2 million after year 2, you're doing amazingly well. The thought of hitting $8 million is almost a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So lots to like about Citywide. And I always say this too, the more boring the business, the more profitable the business. And I don't know anything more boring than cleaning businesses and cleaning offices and warehouses and things like that. So anyways, if you want to see if there is a territory availability for Citywide in your area, or to see other franchises that may be available in the area, please click the link below. It'll take you right to our site, and you'll be able to schedule an appointment with one of our teammates as you see fit as your schedule warrants. And we'd love to chat with you a little bit more about that. So A little bit about Citywide. I don't notice any questions coming in, but if you do, please, and we will get back to you on that. So our founder, Tarek, does his weekly podcast called Zero to Profitable Franchise. And each week when we have our newsletter, he gives you a little opportunity to go back and listen to one of the past podcasts. In this case, if we scroll down a little bit more, you'll see that this was Increase Your Income, Impact and Change the World podcast with Bedros Keuilian. That was done, I think it was done sometime last year. And again, the Zero to Profitable Franchise model, as I started at the top of the hour here, is usually a program that we would charge candidates to participate in, but now we're offering it to you folks at free of charge, just because we found that if you really want to look and find a franchise, this is information you need to have, not necessarily have to pay for that. So we want to make sure people are getting it in your hands, even though there's a huge value to that. But about a year ago, Tarek sat down with Bedros to do the podcast. Tarek's been a fan of Bedros for a long time. He invested in his coaching and has looked up to the empire that he's built. I think it's fair to say if Tarek was here, he's one of Tarek's mentors in the franchise industry. So it was an honor to sit down and talk to him about the journey. And whether you're a seasoned business owner or you're new to entrepreneurship, please, I urge you to take some time and listen to that podcast. You can watch it on YouTube, and it's really just an amazing opportunity to hear a success story. And the cool thing about some of these success stories that we do, they're with candidates just like you folks, and it's amazing how much you can learn by going down the franchise discovery path with people with us here at Franchise Empire. Because again, we believe in educating our candidates, making sure we're kind of hand-holding you through the process, which gets arduous at times. And I'd love to get some feedback when you listen to this last podcast that we just promoted. That's pretty much what we have for this week on our newsletter. I know that if Tarek were here, we probably would have taken more time going back and forth, but it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to go back and forth with myself. So I guess we'll just kind of wrap it up here. I appreciate you guys joining. I know that we're always looking for you to join our YouTube channel, so please do so. If you have questions or comments and want us to get back to you, we'd love to hear from you as well. And again, if you go to any of the links that we showed you during the last few minutes, we can get you on our calendar and have a real no cost, no obligation, entry-level conversation with anybody interested in getting involved with franchising. And as you can see on the bottom of the screen, franchiseempire.com/newsletter will allow you to subscribe or look at past newsletters that we did. So thanks for the 30 minutes today, folks. I appreciate it. We look forward to coming back next week with another episode, and stay healthy out there, everybody. Thanks so much.